everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Man, I'm dragging. On today's episode of Tuesday Tea with Mandy B, we're going to talk about one specific food that I'm finding to be really, really useful and flexible. It's something that I'm enjoying learning more about. I wanted to show you my Shady Pines mug. If you're a Golden Girls fan, like my husband is, you'll recognize Shady Pines Retirement Home from Sophia. I'm drinking my favorite French chocolate tea this morning, and I'm just trying to kind of pull everything back together. It's been a rough couple of mornings. I've had two early mornings, 4:30 a.m., and that's really early for me. I know some of you get up early, like you're in the 5 a.m. club. I am not an early riser. I had to get up early one morning to catch a flight to come back home after doing a training with some teachers, and then yesterday I got up to watch the Queen's funeral. So that was a couple of early mornings. So I feel like I'm kind of dragging this morning. I don't know about any of you. Maybe it's just kind of the September blahs. One of my friends and I were texting yesterday, and she said, "I think we should call September Overwhelmember," and I thought that was pretty perfect. We're all pretty overwhelmed and tired right now, but let's get on with our episode today. So I want to talk to you today about flax seeds. I'm curious if you use flax seeds. Tell me in the comments, drop below. Let me know if you are a flax seed fan or if you're new to flax seeds. This is something that I have been experimenting with as I'm learning how to balance out my plate to eat for my diabetes. So I don't give up any food groups. I don't want to cut out all of carbs. I don't want to cut out fats. I'm really trying to learn how to balance my plate and eat protein, carbs, and healthy fats. And so flax seeds are one of the things that I've really been learning a lot about. So I thought I'd share with you today some of the ways that I'm using flax seeds. And I did some research to find some ways that you can use flax seeds. And I've done almost all of these, but there's a couple on here that I haven't tried. And I'm really, really curious to see if you have or if you're interested in trying them. And I want you to report back and tell me how it's going. So flax seeds are just tiny little oil seeds that originated in the Middle East thousands of years ago. They're really popular today as a health food because of their high content of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and they're high in fiber. All of those lead to great benefits. So they kind of have a nutty flavor, and they're crispy and crunchy. You can add them like as a topping, which we're going to talk about. But you can also use them in other ways. So let's actually explore some of the ways that we can get the health benefits from flax seeds in the ways that you're using them in your food. So I've got 10 ways that you can incorporate flax seeds in your diet. The first one was the first way that I incorporated flax seeds, and that was putting them in my smoothies. So just putting a couple of tablespoons of flaxseed in your blender, you can pulse it for about 10 seconds just to chop them up. You can actually buy ground flax seeds, and it comes kind of in like a powdered form. There's still a little bit of like the husk or the shell of the seed, but I just put them straight in my blender. It gives, sometimes you get a little seed in your smoothie, but I find it gives it a really good flavor. So a smoothie recipe that you might try. Half a banana, a cup of berries, a cup of almond milk, and then 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. Just give that a try and see. So you're increasing your healthy fat intake as you blend it with those berries and then the dairy from the almond milk. So that's a great balanced smoothie. The second way, if you make granola, I love to make granola and put it on top of yogurt, but a lot of the granolas that I buy in the store are really high in sugar. So I like to make it myself and then keep it and store it. And flax seeds are one of the ingredients that a lot of the recipes that I was finding for granola call for. So you can add a couple of tablespoons. That's going to increase your fiber intake. 2 tablespoons has about 4 grams of fiber. So you're increasing that fiber in the granola. You can add together, like I just like to put in some nuts like almonds, cashews, a little cinnamon, some oats. You can use maple syrup kind of as the binding ingredient. I like to use some kind of nut butter, like an almond butter or something to kind of stick it all together. And then I have these little trays that I just press those down into, and you can make granola bars or you can make it loose. And you could use it more like a sprinkle topping, but however you like to make it, that the flax seeds will increase the fiber. You can actually use flax seeds instead of oils if you're baking. I find this one really, really interesting. So you can try replacing the oils in your recipe for ground flax seeds in your baking goods, but you need to use a ratio of 3-to-1. So if your recipe calls for a tablespoon of oil, you need to use 3 tablespoons of ground flax seeds to replace that. Number 4 is that you can actually also swap out eggs for flax seeds. So when you pulverize the seeds and you mix them with liquid, they make kind of a viscous liquid, like almost like the consistency of an egg white. So if you're out of eggs, you could mix 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds with 2 tablespoons of water and let that sit a little bit and let the seeds kind of soak up the water to get to that viscous consistency, and then you can replace your eggs. Now, this is the one, number 5. I have not tried this one, and I'm really curious if you are willing to give this one a try. This one sounds a little out there for me, but you can actually substitute flax seeds for meat. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Let's see. So in this research that I did, adding flax seeds to a vegetarian burger recipe is a great way to get a meaty flavor. So the flax seeds are going to help bind together the ingredients. You would use these instead of breadcrumbs. So when you're making that the vegetarian meat patties, and then you just incorporate these instead of breadcrumbs, I think that might be really interesting. And there's an added bonus here because flax seeds are gluten-free. So instead of putting in breadcrumbs, if you are eating a gluten-free lifestyle, if you eat gluten-free, that's a way that you can bind together your burger patty that's meatless, right? And try that out. I have not tried that one yet. I just read about it and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. I love to use them, number 6, in salad dressings. So if you stir them up, kind of like I've used sesame seeds before too, but flax seeds make a great addition to your salad dressing. You're getting lots of good minerals when you put these in, like phosphorus and magnesium, manganese, zinc, selenium, copper, and iron are all included. So when you mix up your own salad dressing, I just like to put together balsamic vinegar and a little olive oil. Just mix in some flax seeds. You could do that, and then you're increasing your healthy fats there too. Number 7 is that you can use it to make a healthier spread. So flax seeds have enough of the fat content in them, that healthy fat, that they can create a creamy and buttery spread. Now, this does take a little bit of getting used to. It's not going to taste like butter when you spread it on. But the first time you try it, add some ground flax seeds to your favorite peanut butter or nut butter just to kind of get used to that flavor. And then you can actually just use them on their own. So you use the ground flax seeds and mix them into like a spread. Number 8 is to include these in your soup recipes. So you can actually swap out some of the butter or the cream, if you have that in your recipe, for 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds if you're making like a creamy soup. It's going to create this velvety kind of nutty flavor that's a nice finish on some of those soups. Like I'm thinking of a butternut squash soup that I make, and then I use an emulsion blender to stir it all up and grind it down. Just add a dash of whole flax seeds for that kind of that creamy finish. You can also sprinkle whole flax seeds on top to get that crunchy finish right at the end of your soup. Number 9, I have 2 more to go, 2 more tips. Number 9 is to use them in pancakes. So you can actually make flaxseed, gluten-free, vegan, refined, sugar-free pancakes. So use a 1/4 cup of flax seeds, a 1/4 cup of gluten-free flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, a cup of almond milk, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And that will make your pancake batter. And that's got a lot of really good, healthy ingredients in it that you can enjoy for breakfast without the guilt of having that sweet pancakey breakfast. And then number 10 is one of my favorite things just to do. It's so simple, just to sprinkle them on the top. Put them on your yogurt, put them in your oatmeal. I'm about to go eat my overnight oats that I have, and I'm going to put some on top of that. It's a great way to give whatever it is you're eating, whether it's your breakfast or a salad, just use them as like a sprinkle on the top to give a little bit of crunch. You're going to be increasing your healthy fats, your fiber, all of that is great all around. So just increasing your intake of flax seeds will give you a nice tasty experience, and it's going to give lots of good benefits to your body. You've got that high fiber content, which can help with digestive issues. Research also suggests that flax seeds can be helpful for some people that are diagnosed with heart and blood vessel diseases. So they can also help with our blood sugar, which we talk about a lot here. So they can help lower that fiber. Really helps kind of fill up your stomach and slows down the absorption of the sugar. So you are lowering the spike on your blood sugar there. And then we also have a nutrient called lignans that are found in flax seeds. And eating these can, or may, I should say may, help decrease cancer growth and lower the risk of several types of cancer. So I'd love to hear if you are a flaxseed fan, if you're interested in trying any of those. I think I'm going to try adding them to meat instead of breadcrumbs this week. We're making a meatloaf later this week, and so I'm going to try them in place of the breadcrumbs. Mine won't be meatless because I'm using ground beef, but in place of the breadcrumbs in there, it will make my meatloaf gluten-free. And so that we don't struggle with that in our house, but just as a way to lower the amount of breadcrumbs that we're using, I'm just going to try that out this week. So I'd love to hear from you. I want to know, which one of those 10 things are you most interested in trying? And if you're already a flaxseed lover, share a recipe with us of how you use them. All right. Thanks for joining me today on this Tuesday for another episode